Welcome to 5 and 5 from One Stop Co-op Shop, where I discuss 5 key design decisions about a game in about 5 minutes. I'm Michael Kelly, and today we're looking at Vengeance from Mighty Boards. Quick disclaimer that I received a review copy of this game. Vengeance, as you might gather from the title, is a game about revenge, where you try to get back at the gang that wronged you in some horrible way. And this is one of those games where the theme was enough for me. I didn't even need to hear about the mechanics to want to play it. I want to be John Wick. I want to be the bride. I want to take care of business and show those evildoers who's boss. But is theme all this game's got, or does the gameplay match? Let's find out and get to the list. Number 5 is a mix, and that's focused on the solo play and the solo missions each character has in the game. The main positive here is that I love the narrative element. I like that each of these characters has a clear story of what terrible thing happened to them and why they want revenge. Also, a few of the solo missions have unique rules that make them feel different than the others. But on the negative side, they each feel so focused that you're somewhat railroaded to what you have to do, and I wish there was a solo variant that used the base game rules instead of having these solo-specific rules that would allow you to kind of have more variability in a given play instead of having to switch missions to change up how the game goes. Number 4 is the montage phase, one of the 2 main phases in the game where you upgrade yourself, heal the damage you've been dealt, and get ready for your vengeance. On the positive side, I like the tension of the 3 main choices, getting recon tokens to fight the bosses you want to kill, healing the damage you've been dealt, and upgrading yourself. But on the negative side, this feels like an over-designed part of the game. You have these white dice that, in the end, don't feel like they're that different. All the results kind of feel similar, and each character has this unique set of 9 cards, but at least in solo play, where the speed value doesn't matter, they also feel a little too close to each other. So it feels like you're doing a lot of stuff, but in the end, you're going to be able to upgrade yourself a little bit, heal a little bit, get some recon tokens. It almost feels like I could just make those choices without including dice and cards in the mix. Number 3, though, is our first pro, and this is a really cool mechanic, the Vengeance cards. So you start with a bunch of these cards at the beginning of the game when you are wronged by one or more of the gangs and have horrible stuff done to you. And in an interesting dual purpose, they both determine the damage done to you in a very thematic way, telling you kind of in vague terms what horrible stuff happened. But they also give you your main victory point source and your target for destruction by showing exactly which boss did this to you and who you want to hunt down. That's already fun enough and really brings the visceral revenge theme to life. But another fun part is you get more of these cards as the game goes along, and you can have more terrible things done to you and have to deal with that extra damage, but also giving yourself a chance for more victory points. 2 is another pro, and those are the upgrade tokens you get to boost your fighting skills. These upgrades are pretty simple, basically giving you a way to change one combat die result to another, but they provide the majority of the game's tactical depth and choice, and it's just fun to pick which upgrades you're going to get and kind of chain them together into combos. Additionally, they give the fighting the majority of its flavor. It's not that interesting to say, hey, I use a sword and then a gun, but if you instead say, I reverse blade one guy in the belly and then throw my sword at another guy, it suddenly becomes a lot cooler. So the thematic names of the upgrades actually play a great part in what makes them so fun. But we are going to end on a mix related to the last point, and that's the tactical combat itself that makes up the other main phase of the game. On the positive side, this combat is fast and furious. You roll 3, 4, or 5 dice, get some bullets, get some movement, get some swords, use your upgrades, and you just run around just slicing guys left and right. It's a lot of fun, and again, brings to life this idea that you are a consummate killer compared to these weaklings that you're mowing down. But on the negative side, these combats often seem to go a little bit too quickly and tend to be a little bit too easy. And the designer of the game has talked about this. He wanted you to feel very powerful, but it's not always entirely fulfilling. For multiplayer, I totally get it. You don't want downtime while every single person does their fight phase. You want it to go quickly. But for solo, I almost wish it was a little bit meatier. Overall, Vengeance lived up to my expectations. A great thematic experience with decent mechanics. The combat is loads of fun, and if you can get into that, then the okay montage phase and the okay character missions won't really matter because you'll be having an awesome time. Additionally, there's an expansion for the game on Kickstarter right now that, while mainly focused on the multiplayer experience, does have some stretch goals that are supposed to give additional ways to play the solo mode and potentially increase difficulty, which I'm really excited about. but some cautions that might steer you away from this game. This is a pretty light beer and pretzel experience, but they have overproduced it with really nice miniatures and a bunch of dice, so it might seem a little bit more expensive than the experience you get. I still think it's worth the money, but just a note. Also, combat can come down to very random factors. If you just roll horribly on your final roll and don't have some way to mitigate it, you are going to be defeated, and that's that. Another quick note that the subject matter is not going to be appropriate for all gamers. You can probably tell that from the title and the cover art of a person running at a group of people with a golf club, but yeah, the fact that the cards say like your knee is shattered and that kind of stuff, not too kid friendly. Another value point, the solo play is a lot of fun, but if you think you're never going to play this multiplayer, I'm not sure it's a great purchase for you. I think it's a lot of fun in both modes, but I would encourage buying it if you think you'll play both modes at least sometimes. Overall, I do recommend Vengeance if this is a theme you enjoy, because for me, it's been a blast. Good gaming, everyone, and I'll see you at the next stop.